taking a look at the Discmania Splice. The Discmania Splice is a newer, really overstable fairway control driver. They call it a fairway driver. Speed 9, glide 3, no turn, and a fade of 4. If you get a look at this guy, that is pretty flat profile, very blunt rim, and a scooped out wedge-like underside that feels really nice and is pretty shallow. It reminds me a lot of the Streamline Flare or the old flat top Etowah Firebirds, the FAF ones as you might hear them called. And the neoplastic is a little bit gummy. It feels nice in the hand, and it actually is kind of similar to the Bravo plastic that the Chupacabra I reviewed recently is. So taking a look at this guy, I took it out to the field and I threw it in comparison to a brand new Neutron Flare that I also have not thrown. For the record, I feel like the flare that I threw in that one is not the most overstable flare I've ever had, but it is new, so it's what you should be able to expect from a current run. And then I took it out on the course at Etowah and tried on a variety of holes there as well that I would normally throw a flare or a Chupacabra on. And I'll let you guys take a look at that, and then we'll recap at the end.
Okay, so I'm comparing here to the Streamline Flare. I'm throwing on this forehand line. It flexes a little bit, comes back hard. That one's like 350. I try the Splice out, same line. It bucks out way earlier. It's like 325. Going back the other way, give it a little bit of flex. The camera got knocked over, but that one's almost 375. Same line with the Splice, and it only ends up about 355. So consistently 15, 20 feet shorter. Trying the Splice on one more less hyzer line, and it just dumps out. It's barely 290. So out of Etowah, this hole is about 285. It plays a bit longer because of the hard dog leg at the end. I pump it out there pretty hard. It actually goes further than I thought. It's in circle 2 a little long. This one was near perfect. It's a little over 300 feet up on that hill, and it was parked. Backhand skip shot here is just short of 270 feet. This one skips up at edge of circle 1, so give myself a putt there. And on hole 19, you're pumping it through this gap, and then it has to go hard right. So I'm trying to play some skip. It gets up there. It's within about 12 feet.
So as you can see, against that flare, I don't think that is the absolute most overstable flare there is, but it is the current run of Neutron Flares, and it is overstable. So I think that the Splice in the neoplastic at least is a little bit more overstable. Getting it out past 330, 340 feet is a chore. Even on big flex lines thrown very hard, it wants to fight. It wants to fade pretty much out of the hand. On the first hole I threw it on at Etowah, that's a little bit short of 300-foot hole. It's 285, something like that. And it was long of the basket because it went straight longer than I thought based, on that line. But on hole 19, the last hole I showed, I gave that, selling out to get 320-ish feet up by that basket, and it did great. So if you're looking for a disc where you can blast it on forehands or backhand anhizers and it's going to fight back every time, laugh at headwinds, and just overall be probably a more usable version of something like a tilt, the Splice has definitely worked that look. I feel like if you're looking for your do-it-all overstable fairway driver, this is a little bit of overkill. It's a little more overstable than most people need. I throw pretty hard, and I feel like it's even a little more overstable than I need for most of those shots. But if you're the type of player that wants to throw every shot as hard as they can, talking to myself like 3 or 4 years ago, and just find the disc that will do the thing you want to do while thrown really, really hard, then I feel like it definitely has some uses. It's great for skips. It skips really nice and pretty high. So if you're trying to play that skip line, it can definitely do that really well. And it's really comfortable. So overall, I would recommend it if you have a really good arm or you're looking for a wind fighting beefy disc that can take that type of power. If you're looking for something a little bit more, accessible to a lot of people, something like Flare, Lone Star Chupacabra, or even a stock run Firebird would be probably more accessible for most people, but there are uses for this disc, especially if you live at lower altitudes or places where it gets really, really windy. So give that a look if that feels like something you would like, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.